When did this first start where Nick started to get sick and you, I mean, we won't go through it entirely, but like we'll skip over some things, but like, I'm sure you were thinking this is not a big deal in the beginning, correct? Like this is a young guy. You never had, you explain.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it was weird. Nick, I think, was a bit of a hypochondriac with sickness. So he was saying from day one, I have this thing, I have this thing, is what he kept saying. And because his only symptom was that he was tired, I was like, no, you don't. And it all started on my birthday night. And then, for the next 2 weeks, he basically just slept all day, every day. But yeah, I was not worried about it because I was like, this isn't a symptom of COVID. So you definitely don't have COVID. You can smell, you can taste, you don't have a fever, you're not coughing, you're just tired. I thought he was depressed, which Nick could easily go into, because he's a performer, he's a musician, and everything in that world just got, in
Right.
all of our worlds got
Closed
cut
off,
off, but
right.
especially that. So, I didn't think anything of it.
And when did you realize this is something?
I didn't get extremely worried until like the night before I took him to the emergency room. That would have been March 29th. And I got worried because his breathing was really bad. For the first time, I was like, you can't breathe. Like you're having a hard time, like walking from the kitchen table to the sofa, which is like 12 feet. Like that's when I got scared.
Right. And
when I took him to the emergency room, I was like, I'll pick you up in 2 hours. I was like, I literally was like, I'll walk around 3rd Street with Elvis. I'll pick you up in a couple hours.
And so what did they say? He's in the emergency rooms. Doctor calls you or calls you in?
No.
They called you. They called you. You can't go anywhere. So they call you. Yeah. And what do they say?
Nick called me. The doctor didn't even call me. Nick called me and he said, Amanda, they want to keep me overnight. They put me on some oxygen to help me with my breathing. They want to do some further tests. They're testing me for COVID. And they're keeping me here overnight just to make sure I'm okay. And I was like, oh, okay, gosh. All right, well, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Again, not being like, I don't know.
And he had no real pre-existing conditions.
Nothing.
I mean, it's just.
He was never sick. Nick never was sick. He was like, if he had a cold, it was like, wow, you have a cold? I mean, he was like, never sick.
So jump ahead when you realize this is really serious and I can't believe I'm going through this shit.
I didn't think it was really serious until the day that they called and told me that he died on the table for 2 minutes. And I'll say that because the 10 days leading up to that, when he was in the ICU, even though the ICU is scary, every day I was getting reports back from Nick's doctor that he's doing great. We're progress every day. Numbers are looking great. We'll take him off the ventilator on, Thursday. He'll be home by the next Wednesday. Like, doing great, Amanda. Everything's great. And so I was like, okay. So I was, hanging out with Elvis, trying to like be the best single parent I could be, and managing everything at home, trying to manage my fitness business because that was the only thing that was making money for us at the time. So I was just like, great. He'll be home by Wednesday, and boy, this has been crazy, but wow.
So they just keep throwing kind of false hope at you, or maybe not even false hope. They're throwing things at you that this is going to be okay.
That was the truth. He was progressing. Everything was going great. He was going to get off the ventilator. Everything was literally like if it was on the incline of like, he's going to be completely fine. And then they called the morning of April 10th and said, the exact opposite, that overnight he spiked a fever, his heart stopped, he went into septic shock, and he's on an hour, like a minute-to-minute basis, and every hour counts. We'll let you know. And I was like, that's when I was like, what,
I just got like chills. Like it just, I'm shocked, and I know the story. I mean, I know what ends up happening. But it's absolutely got to be the most shocking thing to ever hear when you think, okay, my husband's going to be back and things are getting better, and then all of a sudden, hey, this is life, and this is what just happened.
Yeah,